on, eh? Hey.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to episode 15 of Off Topic. I am.
Oh, he's got a spillage on the first one. What's up, man?
I am joined by Andy and the Cracking Can.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Not much, chilling, dude. Last podcast went really well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the Matt Jordan episode. That was just as fun for us to do as it was for you to listen, I hope.
Guy's a legend. Like, that was blew any sort of expectation out of the water. Love the dude. And like, just fantastic to like chat to him and get like a bit of insight like behind this, like what he posts.
Yeah.
So no, it was a real joy to have him on the show. Yeah.
It was sweet, man. How you been?
I've been good. I've had a pretty relaxed weekend. Worked Saturday, went and watched the boys play footy on Saturday after work, and up the Gunners we won 6-2. Take that.
Booyah.
Oh yeah. But no, pretty average weekend. Just chill. Like a lot of chores done. Bit of gaming, just hanging out.
Just the usual.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I had a good weekend, man. I finished work early on Friday. Met the lady at the base, okay, here. And
The lady?
we jumped in the truck and we showed up to the batch for the weekend, a nice little weekend away.
Mm.
So it was good. We had a bit of wet weather. It was a nice drive. I usually drive up after work, but I knocked off a little bit early. It was nice not getting up there late and just crashing out. Like, you feel like you had a bit more time.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
the Friday to Sunday, like, it wasn't a long weekend. That's a quick stint.
Yeah.
It's still like a 4-hour drive. So
Yeah, I was surprised that you were going up just on a normal weekend,
yeah.
because obviously it's nice to get away, but just
It's a lot of driving for activity time versus activity time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's nice just to do, I can do nothing here. I can do nothing anywhere. But just doing nothing with no one there and nothing pressing was really nice.
Do nothing at 110%.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I think I said that at your 21st speech. We love to relax.
Oh yeah, get horizontal. Tell me more.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. We drank some wine. I tucked into a few beers. I ate gummy worms for breakfast, amongst other things.
No parents. I
Yeah.
see. No.
Oh, that actually, yeah. I didn't mean for that to come out like that. But no, we just chilled, dude. Yeah, like I said, a bit of wet weather, so we couldn't. It's the middle of winter. I wasn't going surf. I wasn't trying to get in the water or anything. Went for a nice walk on Sunday, but what I did do a lot of was like we kind of touched on it in the last episode when we touched on the Olympics a little bit. We said we didn't know that it had started.
I had no idea. No idea.
So I used this time because she was having a sleep or we'd just be chilling on the couch or something, and I'd be like, I'll chuck on the telly. What's on? Of course, the one thing that's on what looked like freaking 15 channels at the moment, the Olympics.
You know what they need? You know when this is gonna sound bad. Like it's like a natural disaster or the whole COVID thing. Your phone goes off and it's like warning. You know, it doesn't actually speak it, but the whole thing's like warning. Blah, 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 all these things. They need that like for the Olympics or big events.
Yeah.
Your phone should just go off automatically. Like, hey, this has started.
Ding ding ding! Bachelor finals on.
But you know, like if you're not following it, because I'd like to watch it as well, and I just had no idea. I missed like the first couple of weeks, so there needs to be something that just hey, it's on. So
it was like I like the Olympics, but there's not a thing in there that I don't do anything. Like, I get more fired up for like a Rugby World Cup or something like that, just because I know it better. And sure, I know like sevens is in the Olympics and that now, but I don't know. It's just,
is that because that's something that we're good at?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, true.
Like to see us win?
Yeah, but like, we get a few medals apparently. I mean, my favorite thing about the Olympics is I am now an expert in everything that's in the Olympics, but an armchair expert. Like, I'm sitting there eating like Doritos and meagering, and this guy doesn't Like, he knocks it over at a 6 meter pole vault. I'm like, fucking hell, did you not train, you idiot? Jesus.
His stance wasn't right.
Yeah.
He was a quarter step out on his run up.
Yeah. Man, the dude from Serbia's going for 6:03, and you're sitting there, your little sorry ass is bowing out early. Huh? What have you been doing?
Yeah.
Imagine I'll be doing what I'm doing, eating Doritos
Yeah.
and eating noodles.
Yeah.
For what? But
Oh, dude from Serbia's crying right now.
I can't jump 6 meters. The thing that always gets me is that because there's so many channels of it on, you flick through and you're like, oh yeah, why, am I still on the Olympics? Or because it seems now that every fucking physical activity is an Olympic sport, right?
Yeah.
Like what's not in the Olympics now? Thumb wrestling.
Yeah.
Other things. But
Old tiddlywinks, egg and spoon race, something like that.
give it 8 more years. But I don't know, the things that I do like to see, which I did watch a lot of, swimming.
Yep.
Actually, I'll talk about swimming, eh?
you sat there with your Doritos and metering and just watched swimming. That's what happened.
Now, as we've covered in past topics, my idea of swimming is grazing my belly against the side of the pool and pretending to be a seal. But these people are real life seals.
Yeah. They're aquatic animals, really.
Yeah, amphibious, if you will. The sport of swimming has such a high pinnacle at the Olympics. It is like watching an athlete. It's like when you're watching the sprints, you're just watching whoever's the freaking fastest over that amount of distance, going hard as tits. And then in the water, because we're not meant for water, I find it really, really impressive. The one I find super freaking impressive is butterfly. That stroke is alpha as fuck.
Yeah.
You are launching yourself out of the water, very a la David Hasselhoff in SpongeBob movie-esque.
Or the Zohan.
Yeah. And it while it's cool, is it functional?
Doesn't serve much purpose.
I don't see a 63-year-old woman every morning on Takapuna Beach doing laps of butterfly, getting ready for a triathlon. All right, it's not your everyday stroke. It's just a dick swing.
or your surf lifesavers.
Yeah. They dive in the pool and then come up and and you always get a sick slow-mo of when they just like pounce out of the water like
throwing both shoulders.
Yeah. And then when they're doing the thing when they're mid-stroke, when their hands above their heads, their lats are just like touching the other person beside them.
Yeah,
they're
big
bursting at the seams.
They must have bad rotator cuffs. Those guys,
I'm sure Olympic athletes have bad rotator cuffs.
No, but just like to move your like shoulders in that sort of like just the butterfly in itself. Yeah, like my shoulders don't move like that.
No. Another thing where the people's shoulders look like they're about to bad rotator cuffs. The weightlifting.
Oh, those guys are animals.
Yeah. Now, when I think of weightlifting, I think of the dudes I see down at City Fitness, the Cadens and the Brads, all right? And a string of singlet, jacked to the gills on frickin' C4, busting at the seams, veiny. I want to see those guys with a mirror in front of them, absolutely ego lifting, trying to curl in the friggin' squat rack and just tear a bicep. That should be an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
But
bro, like what I'd like to see, like why, like an Olympics that allows steroids or that allows performance enhancing drugs. Like if you obviously, okay, I love the Olympics as well. I only watch like a few things. Like I watch the sprints, bit of rowing, up the rowing. We're good at that. So I watch those things. But dude, can you imagine the Olympics? Everyone's on steroids. Let's see how far a human being can push themselves. Like, dude's running 100 meters in 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Put him on steroids. Like, does he hit 6 seconds or like what's going on? Or are they already all on steroids?
We're just tapping out. Yeah.
Yeah, and that we don't know about it. Like,
I don't know. I mean, there's the other end of the scale where we have guys. We find like the world average BMI, and we just stick a whole lot of average blokes in the Olympics, and then when the camera cuts to them and it's their turn, they're just kind of like, oh, yeah,
Finish
fuck,
the ribs.
hold my drink, mate, and then go up, and then now like high jumping 600 mils, Marty Twart from from Pakuranga.
Oh man, hell yeah! Like I mean, and you touched on it earlier. That's like, for me, the Olympics should just be like a certain amount of sports, right? Like, I don't understand why there's so many new sports coming into the Olympics, right? So there's surfing, rugby sevens, football, all
skating and rock climbing.
It's skating and rock climbing, right? So for these things to be in the Olympics, I don't get it. Like I understand there's like they're like some of them are like smaller sports like rock climbing might not get so much exposure, and it's good for these athletes to get these the exposure and all that. But for me, like an Olympian takes me back to like Greek sort of, like who's the strongest, who is the fastest, who can throw something,
who can throw a spear.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So like that's what I think of the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Like look at swimming. Everyone watches it during the Olympics, but the next 4 years, no one's watching it. Like I don't know. Maybe people are, but I don't think there's certain sports that I don't believe that should even be in the Olympics. Basketball. Fuck. Who's going to win this year? USA, of course they will.
Yeah, I mean, like it is crazy to see with the basketball, though, how different the NBA players, when they go back to their countries, they're completely different players. And you see guys that are pretty average getting traded around the NBA, going head-to-head, absolutely dueling the best players from Team USA. But I see where you're coming from.
But, like, is there not, like, a basketball world championship?
There's, like, a FIBA World Cup, yeah, but it's...
But it's not as big. But, like, that's what I mean. Like, so it's a sport that's American, like, dominant base. You know what I mean? So it's like... It's almost like an American sport, and they put it in the Olympics, and it's like you've already like chosen the winner. You know what I mean? It's like putting baseball or NFL in there.
Yeah.
Right. Which I bet you it'll be in there soon.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably paying heaps of money to get it in there, and no shit, they're gonna come away with the gold medals. Like fucking football. I'm a massive football fan. You've got so many tournaments, Euros, Copa America, the World Cup. All of it. Yeah. Why have a tournament inside the Olympics
where you can't actually field your best team?
Yeah. What is it? Yeah. What was it? Like 2-3 players over the age of 23?
Do they not have like an under 23 World Cup?
They do. That's I don't know if it's what age it is, but there is a youth World Cup, and it probably gets more views than the Olympic football. I don't know.
I don't know. The only thing I can see behind it, like I said, I may tote myself as now an Olympic expert after 4 hours of viewing, but I can only think that they put these sports in to give it like a more global, to help grow the
exposure.
Game. Yeah.
And of course, like I'm not saying like because there's a lot of young athletes that are in their sport and then like want to compete for their country, but they don't. Their world tournaments aren't as big as the Olympics, and I get it. Like they're good, like good on them for doing it, but at the same time, it's like I see Olympians as this like sort of like the old Greek style, like fastest, strongest, biggest. Like that's my sort of take on it. But
are we just seeing now with like sure between say the 80s, 90s, 2000s? A lot of those world records were held for a long time, and I don't know any facts behind this, but I feel like in the last between the like 2000 Olympics and the this year's ones, sports science and training and everything's just gone super next level as we're moving into the future. Like, are we just going to see world records broken every Olympics now until we get like another Usain Bolt or another mega athlete that was just born to do exactly what they're doing?
like yes and no. Like I'm no expert, but I think that there's definitely a point where humans are going to plateau in that without performance enhancing drugs. Like sports science can only go so far, right? Because there's kids nowadays that like are literally bred to run, like do their and not that they're just pushed by their parents, but like they just want to do that. They won't drink, smoke, drugs, whatever, and they eat clean, come from wealthy families,
and they train,
and they just train, right?
Yeah.
And these are the guys that end up in most of them end up in the Olympics. So at what point does a human being plateau?
I don't know.
Sorry, this was a bit intense. But I truly believe that. I think that the human being will plateau in that respect, unless there's performance enhancing drugs behind it that can't be detected. And
you see the next evolution of humans starting to go through, come through, where it's just like, man, we've never seen someone with like fast twitch fibers like this. Like their legs are literally like Roadrunner legs, where it's just like wheels, and then there's a thing of smoke behind them. But I don't know. The Olympics are. I like the idea of the Olympic Village. Yeah. How they just stick everyone in, and they're just like, "Hey guys, do what you kind of want." I don't know if that's true. But the fact that they live there is cool. I also saw a headline today for a bunch of New Zealand and Australian Olympians. I have a feeling it's something to do with rugby, but I didn't really read into it. Both got complaints coming back on their flights back because you're not allowed to celebrate once you win. You're not allowed to stick around in Tokyo because of the whole COVID thing. I don't know if it's other years where you're allowed to just hang around and watch the rest of the games and everything. Pretty much once your event's done, you're out. You go home.
Really?
Yeah.
They send you home.
Yeah, like celebrate at home kind of thing.
I mean, I get it, COVID protocols and all that, but man, that would be some of the sickest part. Actually, maybe not the sickest parties because they're all athletes and they're like,
yeah, but they would have been like not had touched a drop of drink or anything, just training for so long, and then they'd be like, all right, mission accomplished.
Yeah, but it's not like UFC where they're like, yo, I'm gonna go get on it now. Like it's not Sean O'Malley.
I'm not booked at a nightclub tonight.
Yeah, like I just said, these people are bred for this, so they're not going home and being like, yo, I'm gonna get on the piss. They probably never had alcohol.
But they're also human though. Like I'm sure they'd like to celebrate.
Yeah, probably in their own way. To be fair.
But yeah, what I was saying was both the Australian and the New Zealand flights back had complaints to the point where the pilot had to come out and be like, yo, like, settle down, because apparently they were having a bit of a fucking hooroo, having a bit of a fucking goldie.
Fucking,
throwing
deserved.
masks around.
Fuck that pilot, doesn't it? Sorry, but like, your boys are boys and girls are bringing home gold, silver, and bronze to your country, and you're not letting them celebrate. Like,
why order?
Yeah, jeez. I tell you what though, there's a lot of money involved in all of that. So and the whole like what sports are accepted in it, or what sports aren't in it. Like a lot of it just like comes down to like money. You know what I mean? And there's going to be certain sports in the future that, if you don't have the money or your country doesn't have the money, like you might not be able to do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess you're right. And I wonder how many of those countries now, when they're pumping these athletes out, how many of their athletes that say they run for their nation or they swim for their nation, how much of that training is in that nation, or if they do look to go abroad.
True.
And then they're just like, no, I'll just fly the flag for my country though.
Yeah.
Then,
look at like rowing, and New Zealand's really good at rowing. So why wouldn't other people from other countries come to our shores, obviously bar COVID, and train under the people that sailing, for example, right? I don't. Is that in the Olympics? I don't know.
Not to the America's Cup degree. I think there is some form of sailing.
Yeah, but so. That's a massive one right there, right? We got a lot of boat builders and like coaches and all that go and work for other countries even during the America's Cup and things like that. So, yeah, no, you're right. Like, why they might not train there, they might not even live there, but they're born there, so they'll wear their flag.
That'd be kind of sick though. It's like NRL players when they come and play. Like you just like, all right, time to step up to my fucking country.
Yeah,
That would be
represent
sick.
time.
Yeah.
It's like Adesanya, like loves New Zealand.
Yeah.
Not born here, sorry, but lives here.
Mm.
Represents, fights out of New Zealand gym and everything. So he's our boy.
On the topic of planes and money, we've had a couple of people. Sorry, I'm going to wipe my face.
We have.
We haven't. We know of a couple of people that have been using their money to form special types of planes that are going to take them to fucking space. And it's been done in the last couple of weeks. Jeffy B. And old Richard Branson.
Richie B.
Yeah. Old Dick B.
Oh, whoa. Dude, that's nuts. We got dudes going into space just because. Yeah.
Like, well, that's what I was laughing about with Jeffrey Bezos. Like, he obviously had his divorce and everything, and like, if she was like, kind of leave me alone, I need some space, and he was like, Eureka.
So he bought space.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Richest man on this planet.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But
I don't know how it all ticks over. But they go to space, right? Jeffrey Bezos takes his brother with him, which is just because, like, in the video you see him, he's like, "How I want to take you to space," and his brother's like, "No way." He's like, "Yeah, well, like, I want to do something cool and I want to share it with my brother." Brother, take note. I want to go to space.
Both of you.
Yeah. And then he takes this other fella who won a charity auction, paid $28 million for a seat on the craft.
Jesus.
The craft, which was his space company is called Blue Origin. The craft was called New Shepard, I believe. The thing is shaped like a penis. And I'll address the elephant in the room. The thing looks like a penis, right? And
screaming Austin Powers right now.
Yeah. It's a big
Johnson. Yeah. Where's the report?
And then he takes up this other 82-year-old lady.
Lady.
I was watching a video trying to find out how she was involved, but it didn't explain it. So she was just
she's what, on the side of Mars with a thumb out the window, like, pick me up on the way. Like,
which just happened to be like out near the launch pad.
Yeah.
Got a gallon of gas? No, I'll take you to space. Yeah. But all I could find on it was that she wanted to go. I feel like she must have some sort of training, because to be 82 and able to go to space, because apparently, like,
oh, hell yeah.
when you're up,
talk about athletes.
Yeah. When you're going up, it's like 3 people sitting on your chest apparently during that little 3-minute like real burst from when you first take off.
Depends on those 3 people, really.
Yes, I guess it does.
Oh, fuck. That's an 82-year-old lady went to space.
Yeah.
Fuck, good on her. Would you ever go? Well, if the opportunity arises.
So money's not an issue? Like, I have the money, I get a free ticket. I get the Wonka ticket to space.
Jeff Bezos, Jeffy B himself, pulled up here.
Sends me a DM, says,
and goes,
"Hey, Jared, buddy.
You're going to space with an 86-year-old lady.
This freaking 100-foot shaft.
Yeah.
The bro and old love.
Yeah.
We're going to go look at space." Hell yeah, I'm going.
Hell yeah.
I want to go to space. And space has always excited me. I mean, I know you've said before you identify as a land mammal, an earthbender, if you will. What about yourself?
I've got to take that opportunity.
Would you go now just because we've seen 2 groups do it, or
I would have gone before. I definitely would have gone before, even before these guys went, because, and I'm not just bringing this back to money, but $28 million worth. I ain't saying no, right? Like, yeah, I'm not paying $450 to go scuba diving with sharks in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Fuck that. All right, I'd go to Hawaii and sit on the beach. That's about it, with my coconut drink, maybe in a grass skirt. Who knows?
Nice.
But I'm
aloha.
Yeah. But there's no way that I'm turning down a trip to space, because it's $28 million. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'd go.
Fuck yeah. I mean, you'd be dumb not to. The only thing I'd worry about, of course, is the downside of if everything goes wrong, it's inevitable death. But hey, if it goes right, you're one of the handful of people that have been to space.
You say you're an astronaut, right? Like, regardless, like, of training or anything.
Yeah.
Like,
So that was what with Richard Branson's one. So his was more of a look more just like an aircraft, like your standard like fighter jet or something like that, and it got towed out by 2 other similar looking planes, and once they got to a certain altitude, they detach, and then his just kind of went up into 50 miles above sea level, which is considered the quote-unquote edge of space.
right,
And
which makes him an astronaut.
yeah, it makes him an astronaut. He went 8 days
Hell
before Jeff Bezos.
Oh man, did it early.
Yeah.
I got
He
it.
did it 8 days before.
Surely he's got like Jeff Bezos
Like on his
phones tapped,
Yeah.
and he's like, "We're going to space on this." He's like, "Fuck it."
When are you doing it? When are you doing it?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. What do you mean he got there? I got up there first.
Or he's got a little like bumper sticker on the thing, like "Eat my dust, Jeffy."
Oh hell yeah!
So he gets up to 50 miles above sea level, and then from there, he was up there for a couple of minutes. The passengers, so he had 8 seats on his plane, I believe, and he had crew that had been like properly trained and everything with him. He was the only person that had no training, or I'm sure he did some sort of training, but
Right.
like a quote unquote non-astronaut. And they kind of hang around that area, do the unbuckle, be in zero gravity, and then they glide back to Earth before landing on a runway in New Mexico or something like that. They did a full plane landing in that.
Nice.
And yeah, I know, right? Whereas
Where
Jeffy
he
B's,
rocks up to his villa,
yeah, where he lands on his designated island with its own atmosphere.
and his own laws.
Yeah. And Jeffy was, his name's Jeffy B now, all right?
Yeah, we know him.
Yeah.
He's just a bro.
Well, he's taking me to space.
Yeah.
He did a similar thing, but he has, so the shaft is just like, that's more of a standard, like, upright, you strap yourself in, you're facing the sky.
The shaft.
They do a
yeah.
countdown and everything. It's not a tow out. Well, it is to a degree. If you can see my hands, I'm holding a big shaft, right? And it goes up to a certain point, much like Richard Branson's. And then
You must know him personally.
the knob detaches from the shaft. And I don't know what happens to the shaft. Oh no, it self lands. That was like the big fucking Houdini. Like, woohoo. The knob then carried on not just to the 50-mile mark. Just to get revenge for the 8 days earlier, he went an extra 12 miles
Hoi.
to what is called the Kármán line, which is considered the beginning of space. So it's weird. There's this weird thing of 50 miles above sea level makes you an astronaut, and they call it the edge of space. But then that extra 12 miles, the Kármán line, is what people really consider like the beginning of space.
I see.
And then,
So Jeffy B went up in his space rocket,
yeah,
went 12 miles more. Like, I mean, 12 miles is a long distance, but when we're talking in space, it's really not much. It's like he's just gone like, boop, just a little bit
So
more.
apparently there's no difference in anything to do with space up between those 2 points. It's just a thing.
Man's like, I got more money, so I'm going to go further.
Yeah. And there's this thing that other astronauts have talked about, astronaut. That's the right word, right? It's called the overview effect, right? And they get it once you're at the Kármán line. I hope I'm saying that right. The overview effect is that moment where you can detach and be in zero gravity, and this is that moment where astronauts can float and just look back at the Earth. And what the overview effect is pretty much like looking at the Earth from space. And they said it's just this overwhelming feeling of calmness, and then much like it's like a feeling of oneness, and you kind of get a whole perspective thing of like, man, like we're minuscule in this universe, and We all need to be one in that. I can tell you something a lot cheaper. Take some fucking mushrooms.
I was gonna say I'm getting mad like Homer Simpson vibes.
Yeah.
Like when that dude went to space, just with the symphony playing, and he's just eating the chips.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. That's. But yeah, hell yeah, mushrooms are a lot cheaper.
Yeah. And you can just, I don't know, hold onto a tree and listen to it talk while the curtains breathe. But then his one, so the knob pretty much just floats back to Earth and parachutes come out. So there was differences in the way that they did it. Jeff Bezos really outlined his as like, it's not a case of when, how we start or if we start going to space. It's a case of when. And he's like, we need to move off the planet, much like who's the fucking Tesla? Elon Musk. He kind of
fucking Tesla.
He talks about the same sort of thing.
Yeah, where's this guy in the race? Is he gonna go to what, another 12 miles past? Or
he'll just laugh and go to Jupiter or something.
Dude,
what are you guys doing? I'm waiting for you at Pluto.
Yeah. Fucking A.
And he's got like an 83-year-old with him.
Yeah. That was going to be one of the questions. Is like, do you think that we should be going to space? Like, do you think that's like a viable thing? Spending money. Obviously, it's not our money or necessarily government money. It's there's probably a lot of government money in certain countries, but these rich billionaires, right? Do you think that's just something for them as like a trophy, or do you think like they're like
it's
actually?
Just like it's that new thing. Like you don't buy a car, you go to space.
Yeah,
you
so
have a space
it's a
program.
So it's a new flex, right? It's their new thing. But like, do you think that we should be even trying to explore or going to space?
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Like,
if you got the money, why not?
If you've got the means to, and there's so much talk now about space tourism being the next big thing.
But like, obviously, global warming, the environment, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we're just writing Earth off, and we're like, no, we're going to leave anyway.
Yeah, well, that's apparently we've got X amount of years to save, like to clean up our act. Otherwise, the Earth's going to
be done. Yeah,
be done anyway. Obviously, not like straight away, but in a certain amount of years. So that poses a question: do we actually need to be searching outside, and going into space for future living, or do we just try and clean up the Earth? Like what? I mean, what's your views on that?
I'd like to. I like curiosity, and I think that if there's, I feel like you're ignorant to think that there's nothing else there in the universe, right? There's got to be something in any way, shape, or form. Have they tried to talk to us? Maybe, but we only have 5 senses to be communicated with, and all of that. All right,
massively. Like,
I'll just keep it rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we are back from our break. So as I was saying, I think we are ignorant to think that there aren't beings out there, but we're limited to being communicated with the 5 senses and all of that stuff, right?
100%. Like I definitely think there's a whole different frequency of senses out there that humans are not in touch with, about communicating with different entities and all that sort of stuff. But at the same time, like my theory on this and the things that I've learned, the same way that, say, we as humans look at like an anthill or something so small or insignificant, like why would we go and search in the anthill and try and find,
what's there?
Yeah, like what's there, right? So there could be all sorts out there, but they could be on such a different scale.
Yeah.
That like, why would they might see Earth and just be like, well,
no point.
That's an anthill.
I assume that humans rank really lowly on like the universal mean of intelligence for whatever's in the universe.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like humans are just kind of like dumb.
But
we have smart humans, yeah, but for us,
but it's not necessarily that though. It's a time thing, right? Like, because you look on the scale of when the Big Bang happened and then when life was able to form on Earth, right? We're talking like billions of years. So it's a time thing, right? So there could be multiple planets out there, stars and all, universes, galaxies, whatever, that have intelligent life, but for us to then coexist in the same exact small amount of time
and be close enough to
then reach them is just like
what are the odds
unfathomable.
in an infinite universe.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking like billions of years, and we've only existed, X amount of years. For us then to coexist at the exact same time, there could be other big bangs happening, but we've got to wait billions of years
before anything.
So
I get what you're saying.
So that's I think that's the crux of it. Like we're just not coinciding with it.
There's just no like timelines that friggin' we're not in anyone's crosshairs for it.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. So you'd be ignorant to say that it doesn't exist because it will exist, but it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. Right.
Mind blown.
I think it's kind of silly that, like, I always buzz out about how long, because I don't know, I was a dinosaur kid growing up, right? I love dinosaurs, and like for example, the difference between, I use this fact all the time, the difference between the Stegosaurus and the T-Rex, right? You've heard this before.
Yeah.
Is, I think, like 160 million years or something.
Right.
There's been the difference between the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus is further apart than like the Stegosaurus and humans.
Right.
You always think of dinosaurs as just that time the dinosaurs are around. They're around for hundreds and hundreds of millions of years.
Yeah. Right. Did they ever coexist, or was it?
No, different. It was like Jurassic versus Cretaceous versus.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is like timing is everything.
Yeah.
We're on this planet 90 years at best, and that's minuscule.
Yeah.
To billions, right?
Yeah, for the evolution of a planet.
Yeah, right. So I think it definitely exists. It's just a matter of when and or how. Like the whole frequency things. I definitely believe in that too. We're as humans are limited to 5 senses, so
yeah. But to double back to your question of like, would I go to space? Do I think it's smart? I think I would. I think what we're just dipping our toe in the water here of the space tourism industry. I know Richard Branson's now said that he wants to, now that this has been successful, he wants to start rolling it out as something for people to do next year. And I know that guy paid $28 million to go with Jeffy B, but he wants to do it for under $500,000, which is like still a stupid amount of money, but it's not unattainable.
Nah, like there's a lot of people. Yeah,
a lot of people want to go to space, and there's a lot of people that can pay under $500,000.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, like a lot of influencers. Like you could imagine.
I know Justin Bieber's already got a ticket.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I could imagine that with a lot of YouTube influencers and everything, like social media influencers that make good amount of money. How good would that vlog be?
Yeah.
I'm going to space.
Hey guys, just before we get into the stratosphere, this is brought to you by SeatGeek.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck who you're fighting this weekend.
Yeah.
This dude's going to space.
Yeah.
That's a vlog. You know what I mean? Like, so that's definitely obtainable.
All right, here's a fucking hard left. I was talking to the boys at work the other day, and one of them said, "Man, I hate going grocery shopping with my parents." Sorry, I didn't know where to move out of that. Which got me thinking, right? It was one of those things that I dislike doing it with my parents. My mum's one of those ladies where you're driving home, right? And she's like, "Oh, we'll just swing into Countdown. We just need some toilet paper." But when you go in, she grabs the big trolley.
Oh.
And you're like,
it's all over.
Mum, what are you doing? We've all got hands. We can hold the toilet paper. And you're like, Mum, what are you doing? Why are you putting lettuce in these, silly Billy? And cereal? Why are we going to the deli? And next thing you know, I'm sitting there reading frickin' Bart Simpson comics for 3 hours, sitting on the floor.
The old kid zone.
Yeah, being told, like, if you're going to read it, you got to buy it. I'm like, dude, I don't even know where my mum is. She's still in aisle 2.
Yeah, pretty sure she works here. So.
Yeah. But it was that or sit in the car. And if I had siblings with me, often we would sit in the car. But you do one of those things where you're with you. You fight. You get in like a full fisticuffs, and then you cry, and then you make peace, and then you get that weird afterwards of like you've made peace again, but you're still kind of angry. And you don't know how to act, so you're just like crying, laughing, and everything's funny.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah,
like it's gonna happen. I mean, I'd choose to sit in the car, definitely. Like me and my brother didn't fight all that much, so I'd definitely pick the car. But also, my parents or my mum or dad, like if they were just getting something, it was like, yeah, we're getting that and getting the fuck out of here. I don't think they enjoyed doing that either. Plus, you got a bigger family, so like you gotta understand, like,
yeah, we'll get a few things, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be overflowing the trolley,
yeah,
and it's gonna last like a few days.
mm.
But it's just on that list of things that when you're a kid, like when your parents said that they were going to do that, it was just like, oh. My other one was when, say you'd gone and done something for the day, and then you were heading home and you were looking forward to being at home, and then your parents were like, oh, we're just going to swing into so-and-so's just for a cuppa.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, they don't have kids. They don't have toys
Yeah.
there. Like, what am I going to do? So you just sit, or you watch telly or something.
Yeah, no, my parents, like on any trip, like or wherever we go, like throughout the country, like they'll either know someone or have family or something. And it wasn't necessarily like just on a weekend basis, maybe like yourself, like, oh, we're just gonna pop in for a couple. It's like, okay, we're in Hamilton, so it's like, who do we know in Hamilton? We may as well see them while I'm here. And I get it. Like now I'm older, I get it. But at the time it was like,
We don't need to see these people.
it's like, we're never going to see this person again. I might see them like 10 years later or something and not know who they were from the first time I saw them.
Yeah.
And that really grinded my gears.
Nice.
So yeah, no, I get it. There's a few things that, like, hate is a strong word, but there's a few things that I dislike, doing with my parents. But really, like on the scale, like I didn't really. There wasn't much that I had doing with them. Like I hated doing things for them. I was a shit fucking child, right? Like I was, like
I'm not shocked.
yeah.
I'm not shocked.
Like kids are supposed to do chores. Fucking Andy just didn't like doing chores, all right? So, I don't know what it was. It was, I don't know if it's an ego thing or what. Like it was, like parents are, hey, we're paying you pocket money or an allowance. Can you go mow the lawns? It was like, fuck no. So you bought the house.
You chose to have me.
Yeah, you fucking mow the lawns. It was like, fucking. Can you go walk the dog that we bought for you? It was like, I didn't pay for it. You go walk the dog.
We have a lawn. The dog can run itself if it wants to run.
Yeah,
run in circles.
Look, I was a shit child, right? And I wasn't like a shit child all the time. It was just I just didn't. I don't know. I was just really just not. Like I fucking still can't cook. You know what I mean? Like most people get their kids to cook a meal once a week and learn to cook and all that. Like, my parents tried. They tried to get me to cook, but I was just said, nah, I can't be fucked. Like it's not.
I didn't learn to cook till I moved out of home. I was the same thing. I wasn't made to cook when I lived at home, just because it was like I tried to do it a couple of times and I made enough for 2 people and there's like 6 of us. And Mum was like, all right, just fucking flag it. I don't know how to be a line cook cooking for a whole sit down 3-course meal for animals.
Yeah, but there's what 6 of you? Yeah, 6 of you. But there's never 6 of you at home. There's
when we were all kids,
like,
there was. Yeah,
there's definitely a lot more. So yeah, no, I just didn't didn't enjoy doing things.
Didn't like hanging out a bit of washing. That was the one job I didn't mind hanging out a bit of washing because it's one of those pride things where you're like, man, I've hung that pretty nicely. I actually didn't mind the lawns either, because we lived on a I've always lived kind of rurally, so we had a ride-on lawnmower.
That would have changed the whole thing.
Yeah,
right? Like we had so much fucking space out the back of our house in Waimaku, and it was just push. Like we're talking like at least 15 loads out of the fucking mower, and it was just like we'd get in arguments.
Mm.
Like, no one wanted to fucking do it. Dad did it all the time, and it was just like, who's helping him today? It's like, it was, we're leaving.
The mower is.
Yeah. So, like, a ride-on would change that completely. I get that. That's, but you know, there was certain things I really didn't mind doing, and especially like something even like the lawns. When I got older, it was fine. Like, you know, like it was.
Yeah. It's a bit of a pride thing. You can look back and be like, "Fuck, that looks tidy."
Yeah, like more like later into the later teenage years before moving out of home, it was like, okay, you're like all good.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes I'd do it like as like a favor and try to do it before they get home and all that. But yeah, it was just definitely in the younger years, just nah.
Yeah, you learn pretty quickly. You're like, I'm pushing shit uphill. If I just like, at the end of the day, I'm probably just going to have to do these things. I'm just going to do these things.
Yeah, for sure.
The one I've always hated is unloading the dishwasher. I know it takes 2 minutes.
I know, but it's like,
it's just
I love putting it on and being like, it's someone else's problem. Like,
but I mean, yeah, it would cause like arguments sometimes. Like I said about the grocery thing, when I was in the like salmon countdown with mum, and I'd be like, oh, okay, she's dragged me along, and I'd be like, oh, can I get this? Mum would be like, no, and I'd be like, oh, can I get this? And she'd be like, no, and then it'd be the classic like firm grip of the wrist, clenched teeth, like, we're not getting that, Jared. And if you don't put it back, I'll smack you in front of everyone. And then you're like, okay.
oh,
But I was no stranger to smack bums as a child.
didn't deal well with the public embarrassment.
No. Oh, yeah. Like, mum's, she'll hell for leather, just fucking smack my ass if I was being naughty. Like, one up the bum, sort me out. Like I said, I was a bit mouthy. I was a bit boisterous, all that kind of shit. But it's not the smacks from mum. I can handle that because I was used to it. You know, her hand knew my hide, and
You had an imprint.
it's the weird thing of when other parents smacked your bum.
What?
Yeah. So
Other parents?
yeah, you get the other like sometimes you get the other mums that would smack your bum, and you'd be like, you're not my like. That's
What the
that's
hell?
for my mum, and then when I'm really naughty, my dad.
Yeah. The audacity.
There was one time where this is 100% my fault.
I just had to preface that. Yeah.
So the neighbor was like, "Oh, do you want me to take you and my sister out?" Like, and they had kids as well that we knew. And they were, "Oh, we'll take you out to McDonald's for dinner." And we were like, "Oh, woo, McDonald's!
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, it was sick." And then we had our dinner in there, and then she trusted me with the money, and she was like, "Jared, go get everybody."
That's your first mistake.
Yeah.
No, you're pretty good with your money, but yeah, I can see where this is going.
go get everybody a soft serve for dessert. I was like, thank you very much, lady. And then as I'm walking to the counter, I count up some coins, and I was like, oh boy, she has overfunded me. And I get to the counter, I'm like, okay, what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. Yeah, hi, I'll get 3 soft serves and chocolate sundae for me. And I walk back. I walk back with my chocolate sundae, and then I remember the lady was like, I said 4 soft serves. And then I was like, yeah, sorry. Like, I was like, yeah, sorry. Like, I wanted it. It was really, I was being rude, yeah. And I remember her like crouching real down and being like, you are naughty. And then just like, bang, one up the other. And I was like, hey. And I didn't get anything in the end. She took it off me.
Oh, fuck that bitch. Sorry, but you've used your intelligence as a young child and gone and used your mathematics and been like, hang on, I've got more money than I need. I'm going to order something for myself. Go you. You deserve that Sunday.
All right, well, my cheeks thank you. Because she sure didn't.
That's appalling. If I was a parent in that situation, I'd been like, man's got his life sorted out. Fuck.
Well,
priorities set.
We got a little accountant on our hands.
Yeah, exactly. Praise the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously a lot of that nowadays, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, Mum would be the sort of person that would be like, right, I'm gonna just do the food shopping on a Wednesday night because I'm working late. I'm gonna just go to Lincoln Road, pack and save,
Yeah.
and just get it done.
That smack was at McDonald's Lincoln Road.
Yeah, there you go. Just get it done and then just get home. Because if she brought the kids along, i.e., me and my brother or whoever, it would take longer. Mum's like, nah, get it. This is what I need. Get it done.
It was a big thing for mums going to the supermarket off peak. Like my mum would do the same, where she'd be like, I'm going to shoot down late at night. Like they're open till 9 or 10. Yep. But like, go down when it's not busy.
Yeah, that's it. Like growing up in Kumu, the closest supermarket
was down in Henderson.
Was going to Lincoln Road.
Yeah,
I don't
know it wasn't around then.
I don't even think Westgate one was open, or at least going to Pack and Save, right? Because it's cheaper or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, she's like, nah, I'm gonna go get it done at 9 o'clock at night. No one around, and she'll just blitz through it. And it was like, so I never had that problem about sitting in the car or anything. But yeah, no, I never really got the smack either. Like from my parents, I think once maybe my old man got the belt out, but like that was probably about it.
Oh, my little brothers didn't. By the time they grew up, it was like that's not something you do. Yeah. I remember my dad saying to me once, he's like, a little bit of fear goes a long way. I was like, yeah, fair enough.
100%.
Like,
it
sorted me out. Like a smack bum worked.
Yeah, but fuck, if anyone hit me that wasn't my parents, jeez,
what are you doing? And smacks, like, they don't hurt. They never hurt, right? Like you learn your lesson in that, but as a kid,
it's like what? Like, yeah. But it's fuck my parents would go ape shit. My fucking, you're signing a death certificate right there. If you hit me and my parents saw that, they'd go ape shit. But I've definitely had my like fair share of public embarrassment. But it's different. Like when I was younger, I was more of an introvert. You know me now. I'm definitely not that introvert. And I didn't deal so well with being in public. Like with eyes on me, like school productions, things like that. Like I just, and you had to be in it as before you got to choose and do that. Like nowadays, I'd love to do productions or drama or movies or whatever because that's what I love. But as a kid, like it scared the shit out of me. And in Kumu, we used to have we're still going, I think, right? There's a Santa parade.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So there was a Santa parade, and I think the theme from our school was farmers. Go figure. From Kumu. Yeah. So everyone's dressed as farmers, and so my old lady went as a farmer, and I dressed as a fucking chicken.
The theme was poultry.
I was in a fucking chicken suit. Driving down the main strip of Kumu on the back of this, I don't know, probably the concrete cutter down the road, like truck, like, and I was dressed as a chicken. It was, I was embarrassed, but I mean that's probably as far as it goes for me, to be honest.
In terms of public embarrassment, like of straight just like red cheeks, fuck's sakes, happened to me last year. I actually don't know if I've told this story on the podcast before, but so during lockdown last year, like the main big 4-week one, our dairy up the road was open, and I went up to do my grocery shopping, which was just like, I'm going to go get some chocolate and chips and dip and chocolate milk. So
eating good that week.
Yeah, that day. And I skated up, got my stuff, had it in a bag, and the like Ryan was in front of me. He kind of skates off with his stuff, and then there was a little lip in the concrete, and I was like, I can just kind of like manual over it or whatever, do something cool. My back wheel catches.
Oh,
and it wasn't just like a fall; it was a straight kaplat, and it just it just so happened that every single item I had purchased, a la chocolate milk as a calcium in a box, dip, chips, everything was burstable and messy. Everything just went everywhere. and I was face down, and I had like the gravel rashed hands and
Oh.
the scratch and my knees, like one of those falls where you just want to lay there for a bit and just go, ow, owies, owies.
It just take you back to when you're like 10 years old.
Yeah. And I looked up, and there's a row of cars behind me, and there's the whole car park is a COVID testing station,
Oh.
and all the cars are lined up to get tested, and I did it in front of everybody, and I just quickly shuffled everything into my bag, like just picking up dip with my raw hands and flinging it into the bag, and everyone saw me as well. Pick up my skateboard, go to skate off, reconsider, pick it back up, and just run down the road because I didn't want to skate anymore.
You get home and people are dipping chips into chocolate milk and shit. Like everything's just scrambled up.
Yeah, it was
Oh
just
man,
Ryan still talks about it all the time. It was so funny.
I wish there was a video that I've had a few bails definitely. I remember I said like a family friends as a teenager and wasn't so far from mine, and I skated there and then tried to like skate home, and their house was at the top of the hill. Tried to skate down and just like halfway down, just I started wobbling like
Shit.
yeah, just like massive wobbles, and I was like, well, I ain't getting out of this alive, and then just had to jump. It was either just like bail badly or like choose my time to jump.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the grazers. It was like, oh. And I did the whole like stand up, like look around, like
Yeah.
anyone see that? Like, and then like run off around the corner, like, I've actually saw.
Shall we dive into some lessons of the week?
Yeah, man. What do you learn this week?
It's a pretty surface level one this week, but it did. Now, work's picked up a little. Like I've just started this new job, just getting into it and that, and it's just that time again where I've got to start really having my ducks in a row, having things organized and that. And that's all my lesson is just, stay prepared. Just be prepared. Write things down. Have your ducks in a row, because stress comes from being unprepared.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And it's when you're like, oh, I'll sort that later. Don't do tomorrow what you can do today, that old chestnut. If you got time, just do it. You'll thank yourself for it. Write it down.
Yeah, when people are at home relaxing, and it's good to unwind, don't get me wrong. But especially like for me, being relaxed means being prepared.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's exactly right. You don't want to be at home with something in the back of your mind ticking over. You want to start each day knowing exactly what you're doing. What about yourself, Mr. Miller?
Well, my lesson of the week comes from one of the biggest animation media in the world, Kung Fu Panda.
Skadoosh.
I watched Kung Fu Panda 3.
And
specifically, yeah, I'm going with that. And specifically, and there was a quote from Master Shifu, and I think it's absolutely amazing, and it's definitely relevant to us right now. If you only do what you can do, you will never be more than you are.
Nice.
No, and it's so relevant to us right now. Like, if you keep doing like what you're doing, and like you're not going to advance. So be prepared.
Yeah.
And start pushing those boundaries. Do more than you can, and you'll be more than you are.
I believe the philosopher Confucius once said, "He who says he can and he who says he can't are both right."
Fucking A.
And on that note, guys, that was Off Topic episode 15. Thank you very much. Thank you for the love we've had on the videos this week and the past episodes and that. Everything's up. It's good to see. Thank you for the feedback and the new people. What up? You can get at us on Instagram at Off Topic Chat. Email us at
offtopicjandy@gmail.com.
Nice. See our videos on Instagram, Facebook, and all that. They're all doing good. Thank you very much for that, guys. Thank you for the episode. It's been fun, and another few guests coming around in the next couple of weeks and that. So stick around for those. Peace.
Later.
Good night, eh?